Dope. Word, man. Well, this is super exciting. This is the first put one in the air that we have a little video to, a little mic on mic action. Before they were just phone calls and whatnot, but we're fucking here today with Mr. Harry Adams himself, Binks Inks, the Scranton Strangler, whatever you want to call him. We got him in the building today. So everybody give it up for Harry.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Spoon. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, it's totally cool. I mean, we talk all the time, bro. And and so
Yeah.
it's just another FaceTime. But no, for sure, man. Cool. This is what, episode five?
Episode
Four?
four.
Four,
Episode
four,
four.
four. Cool, man. Yeah, it's an honor. Super stoked, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely excited to have you on. Um, yeah, so I guess I kind of alluded to it a little bit with the name changes or whatnot. Just for the people that don't know you, I know you go by Harry Adams now. Um, when you were featured on some of my stuff, I had you on as Binks, FKA, the Scranton Strangler. Take us through the the name changes and how you're so chameleonic with it.
Yeah. I just first name, last name for sure, man. Just keep it simple. Harry Adams. Binks was like I suppose a moniker that I would like go under for like rap songs. And
You're
then, a different titles when I'm producing or I like my first name that I would like produce and make music under was DJ Arts and Crafts. That was like ninth grade, probably through college. Um, and then Binks was just a funny name. But no, I'll just stick to first name, last name, keep it super simple. And but when it's funny and inappropriate to do it, I'll come up with a funny name.
Yeah, that's awesome. How was your I know at least it was like a name switch for me because when I, started to hang out with you and learn you were Binks, you were kind of rapping into that. And then for me at least Harry Adams kind of came second. Um, is that the case with like most people or when you meet people, is it straight up Harry Adams or do people kind of have to go through that change with you?
No, I think most people just rolled with the first name, last name type of thing. For me, like I was putting music out under two different names, but the stuff that was really popping was, or the stuff that I was, I guess, more proud of was just under Harry Adams. So just to kind of keep things clean and keep the catalog under one umbrella, I kind of just subtly, stopped going by Binks.
Yeah. That's what's up though. I know I love to roll out Binks and whatnot on some rap shit, but we got you on as Harry Adams for Lua Lua. I
Cool.
think to kind of help keep it under that umbrella.
Yeah, man. And I'm still up for whatever, bro. Seriously.
Dude, definitely. Yeah, when Binks comes out, it's a rap. It's a wrap. Good night. But yo, so let's kind of catch up on the past, I guess year and a half or whatnot. You've been super busy. So you dropped your album Extinction Is Forever, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth, but you dropped Extinction Is Forever. You put some merch behind it as well. You've been working on some paintings and drawings, over the winter. Dropped your fifth collection of the STEM Tet. You dropped the Hollow Earth. Um, and yeah, in the background too, been doing Binks Inks, another endeavor, tatting people up and whatnot. But let's kind of start back with Running on Fumes, the single that you dropped, and kind of talk about that process and how you were able to deliver the 8 song project Extinction Is Forever to us.
Yeah, man. No, it's a cool question. I think definitely have a lot of outlets when it comes to, creative output. It's not always just like visual art and music, even within those two categories, which is probably the stuff that I explore the most. There's all different sorts of mediums, apparel and fashion and whatnot. And then even within music, different genres, producing, singing, writing, whatever. But yeah, man, it's been coming up on a year on the album. I put it out for my birthday last year in August. Extinction Is Forever. You said 8 tracks. Um, all just like produced it all, wrote it all, kind of in the year leading up to the release. Um, yeah, Extinction Is Forever was like, I guess my first. It's not really a studio album because I still recorded it in my bedroom, but the first project that I put out on Spotify. I think, my SoundCloud catalog is pretty thorough, like pretty deep. Been putting music up on there since like probably high school. Um,
Yep.
So well over like 8 years of music on there, and to not have anything up on streaming, with Spotify, there's a kind of weird sense of like permanence to it. Like you put it out and then it's official, and like this is what people hear. They don't really
Yeah.
need to dig for it. Like if you look it up, that's like your first glimpse into me. So wanted to make sure, like, first and foremost, that the quality was greater than anything I had on SoundCloud, and just that like it was a little more intentional. If you were to like find that tape on Spotify, that you wouldn't need to dig through as much bullshit as you would on SoundCloud. So definitely took my time with it. Definitely made sure that like um the tone and the voice and even the recording quality of the album was where I wanted it to be. But it was a fun tape for sure, man. I think it kind of evolved, and I didn't really have a title or a theme or anything until I kind of closed in on what 8 songs were going to be on it.
Mm.
Extinction Is Forever is the title track. Kind of just encompasses the album. Obviously my like so much of my content is inspired by uh nature, animals, cool animal facts, kind of fantastic world shit. You know, it's tough to encompass all at once, but like nature and the natural world and cool animals and hypothetical stuff is kind of a massive muse for me.
Mm.
So almost unintentionally, but wrapping up the 8th song, you look for common themes between each of them, something that you could use to hold them all together. And the title track of Extinction Is Forever kind of served that purpose. So um, yeah, man, it was a I produced the whole thing, I wrote the whole thing, and then worked with a producer. Shout out to the homie Nick Knack.
Hey.
Nick, yeah, my homie Nick mixed and mastered the whole tape after I had finished recording everything. Super talented producer, super talented artist, and also a really solid audio engineer as well, who was able to kind of take it from a 10 to an 11. So shout out Nick. But yeah, man, Running on Fumes, I chose as the single. It's for sure at the time, I think, was like the favorite. It's definitely the catchiest. It's definitely the
Mm.
poppiest. And when you have a song like that, it's super tempting to lead with that as the single. I don't think that like a catchy song is everything, or like the single needs to be the best song. But it's probably the most like there's no radio with this album, but like it was probably the most radio song out of any of them. So to
Yeah.
give like as many people as I could a taste of what was coming, I thought it was the right track to lead with. It's a good song. I'm still super proud of it. I'd probably rank it pretty high on the album out of my faves, but
Yeah.
that was the decision to lead with that. I think the year before I had put out 2 songs already that ended up on the album, Pincher Martin and then Pigeons. So
Yep.
by the time the other 5 songs came out, 3 of them were already on Spotify. But limited catalog, and yeah, like I said, put out 8 more in August, or put out 5 more in August for the 8-track album, and super proud of it. Still kind of look back on it. It's under a year old, so it's still my latest project. Still look back on it with like a lot of pride. And equally look back on it with like a lot of inspiration about what I could do better, what I could grow on, what kind of themes I could elaborate on for future projects. But yeah, man, it was a super fun endeavor, and the release of it was really fun. Shot the album artwork with Heidi Kim. Shout out to Heidi, another
Hey, shout
Air
out
member.
Heidi. Hey,
Yeah,
gang.
Heidi and I got together in LA to shoot photos for the album. And then, yeah, like you said, I put out another collection with Stem Tetrapod that kind of served as album merch, kind of served as another like subtle rebranding of Schweiger. Kind of shifting that over to Stem Tetrapod. The way I kind of achieved that was through this really subtle merch drop with the album. But it was cool, man. Like I said, look back on it with pride, and it's still is quite fresh. It's it's about 9 months old. So still kind of living where it is, but yeah, lots more on the way, man, as always.
Yeah, man. Yo, dude, that's awesome. So you kind of talked about how you didn't even come up with the name of it until you wanted to get a feel for it, trying to find those common themes, and you narrowed down to eight. What was like that process like of trying to narrow it down and find that focus, and then kind of relying, kind of realizing that you were like, hey, like nature has kind of been like a theme for me. It's definitely present in a lot of your works. You talked about Schweiger, which we'll talk about in a minute. The nature definitely pulls through there as well, of course. So what was that process like of like trying to trim it down to those eight? Um, and you had a few that came out already, so really kind of honing in, I guess, on those five other songs that rounded out the project.
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool question, man. I mean, so my initial idea for the album was to call it Maine Songs, Maine, where I grew up. And in addition to the kind of like, nature and natural beauty and stuff, for sure, childhood memories and, kind of encompassing this pretty wild, remote childhood I had and like, in the Lakes region of Maine, is a pretty major theme and a major muse for me in some of my music and writings. So I was working on about just like all, you always have a couple songs in the mix, a couple songs that you're working on writing and finishing up at
Sure.
the time. And yeah, Maine and kind of this childhood, exploration of memories and nostalgia and stuff was another pretty big theme. But at the same time, I just kept writing songs, and soon I had like 15, 12 or 15 songs where I could group them pretty easily into like main songs. And then these kind of songs were a little bit more explorative or, I don't know, theoretical is the word, but kind of exploring ideas more than actual, references to my childhood or things that had happened, kind of exploring themes and concepts more. I guess conceptual is the word. So
Sure.
those eight songs became Extinction Is Forever, and then I have like eight more on deck that could still be dropped under the
Hey.
title of main songs. But even
Ooh.
on the track, even on the album, tunes like Running on Fumes is totally like a harkening back to my youth. And for sure there are other songs on the album that are not like overtly all about animals and nature and shit, but um yeah, narrowing down those kind of songs for sure helped me land on the title. um but yeah, it was kind of working backwards, where I finished the project and then thought about what do all these songs have in common, and what can I kind of group them under, rather than like, all right, I'm gonna
Mm.
make a tape about this and then and then write and record eight songs about
Yeah, dude, that's a super. Yeah, I feel like I have to burp. I feel like it's so close.
it.
Not quite though. My bad. Yo, I feel like that's a super interesting perspective. Um, like the project like that I'm just wrapping up right now. Like I just started with beats. I like knew that I wanted to like push myself like as like a producer first. Um, so I was like really just trying to like get like a feel. So mine was like what what's the connecting feel to like all
Hmm.
of these, you know?
Right.
And then doing that was able to kind of think about like how I wanted to attack this album differently than like other things that I wrote.
Hmm.
Tried to be more thematic and more intentional with my words and stuff like that. And yeah, but then like through working on that project, I got like another idea for another project. Like you know how it goes. And like this one, like I clearly know what I want to write about. Like and like it's just such the opposite. The like Four Seasons, I had no idea, it was all feeling, and now the other one is just like all ideas, and like haven't even really felt out of like too many beats. I think I'll have like two beats for it, but like
Hmm.
yeah, man, the process is super interesting. That's what's up. That's so cool.
Right.
Um, so tell us about the merch and everything that dropped with it. The music is definitely, it's super dope. Because it's funny how you talked about it's not like a what you say, like a studio album, right? You're still like
Hmm.
recording it in like the room and whatnot, which like hell yeah, like I definitely feel that. But your SoundCloud is mad extensive, and it's funny because when you do hop on these major streaming services, it's funny because you could tell people when they're like, "Oh, you make music? Oh, you're a SoundCloud rapper?" You'd be like, "Yeah, I got shit on SoundCloud, but like I also am like anywhere you listen to like your music on the reg, you know." So like it's fun to like add like that little credibility when people are like, "Oh, you a SoundCloud rapper?" It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the different platforms, I think people just take, with different levels of seriousness. And uh, yeah, that's why I think about like, I'm trying to put something out this summer that for sure is just going to go on SoundCloud. And I think the reason is, although like, yeah, I want more people to hear it, so maybe I should put it on Spotify. It isn't better than the Extinction album. So I don't want to like dilute my Spotify catalog with stuff that just isn't up to that standard. And I
mm,
think that's just what you get. That's kind of what you pay for when you start um, taking shit more seriously. You know what I mean? If you set a really high standard for yourself, you need to be ready to kind of only put shit out that's at or above that standard. Or if you do something that's below that standard, but you're still proud of it, you just find another, way to put it out there. And that's for sure SoundCloud.
yeah,
But yeah, man,
definitely.
I mean the merch too, like yeah, put a little merch run out with with the album. In addition to music, obviously like fashion, visual arts, like a major, creative outlet for me. So when I put the tape out, I was due for another merch drop, like for another line drop out of Stem Tetrapod and Schweiga at the time. And just, for sure took the opportunity to like put some of my album designs on some apparel. I dropped on my birthday too, so it was like kind of a perfect storm of like just just a lot of eyes on me and a lot of eyes on the stuff where like people were promoting the album, people were saying happy birthday, people were like, buying the gear to, it's dope,
Yeah,
that we maybe wish me happy birthday, buy some merch, whatever. Just become a
yeah,
part of this moment. And yeah, it was super, super fun. Yeah, it was just like, I had this kind of color scheme and visual theme to play with that was all, present throughout the album. I've got my own kind of visual aesthetic with Stem Tetrapod. So to do both on the same day was just a cool opportunity, and just made it work. It was a lot of planning, felt like work at times, but yeah, definitely worth it.
hell yeah, man. Carpe diem, bro. That's what it's all about. Like you said, you got the eyes on you. Like you got to take advantage of that moment and like definitely promote the brand, promote yourself. That's what it's all about, man. Fucking drive that vision, drive that dream.
Right.
Dude, and with all of these outlets and everything, do you have a favorite, or does like one come more naturally than the other? Others.
Uh, it's a cool question, man. I would say like I dwell on it at times and then try to convince myself like don't think about this. Like don't try to like pick a favorite.
Yeah,
Just
it's
do
like
what
picking a
you do.
favorite kid.
Yeah. I just like, at times, Spoon, I'm like very inspired to write songs, and it's usually during those times that I'm not really like fucking with my artwork, and at the same time there are like weeks, sometimes months, but like long stretches where I'm like pretty prolific with drawing and painting. It's usually during those stretches that I'm pretty under inspired when I try to write music. So
Hmm.
I don't read into it much more than just like, why would I do something that I'm like not in the mood to do? As long, I still find both pretty productive. Uh,
Yeah.
and, I just don't try to force it. Luckily, I don't have like a ton of pressure or deadlines or, um, anyone kind of counting on me for either one of the things. I, make art kind of on my own time and make music on my own time. So fortunately, because of that, I can kind of do either one when I want. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, I don't know. I at the same time, when you have like two things that you love like that, you kind of want to pick one or at least decide. Think if you can like favor one. So just to answer the question, I probably drawing. Probably,
Hey.
I think I like and my this answer might change like soon. I don't know. But I think, yeah, if I could do one thing, if I had to only do one thing out of the two, and that's like make music or make art, visual art, I think I would probably pick visual art. And the reason for that is that it's a little bit more expressive for me when I'm
Mm.
trying, both are like a total outlet to like talk about or, represent how you're feeling or what you're going through or whatnot. And art, visual art just like comes super naturally. I rarely need to like think twice about it. It's very expressive and
Hmm.
almost a little more mindless. I think that the like kind of standard that I set for myself with music to be thoughtful and be clever, and like, speak in metaphors and storytelling and just kind of the style that I've developed for music makes that like self-expression just have another layer of thought that I'm not always down to like engage in. So that, just because like art, visual art comes a little more naturally to me, or with a little bit less second guessing and thought, that's probably my favorite. But I've obviously given it
Gotcha.
I've given it a lot of thought and still don't really have a short answer.
Hey, you don't need to. That's cool, yo. So if so okay, real life example. If KG, Kevin Garnett comes up to you and he's like, "Yo, I heard you're Harry Adams. Uh, like, what do you do? Like, who are you?" Would you say I am a visual artist, or would you be like, I'm a musician, or would you be like, holy shit, what's up, KG? And yo, that's a real story, people. We're gonna talk about that in a second. We're gonna talk about it right now.
Yeah. um I mean, it happens, dude. Like yeah, no, Kevin and I met through work, and I mean, like,
Kevin.
Tick and I met through work,
Kevin.
and I work in merch, right? So, but it's also like a side hustle. Like my job is to do, merchandise for creators, YouTubers, athletes, musicians, different
Mm,
different sorts of creators. I help them with their like, creative vision and help them build their fashion brand or merch brand.
dope.
Um,
And
yeah,
that's
in those,
you're repping it right now. Word,
yeah, one of my clients, I'm in this like Kuno hoodie.
word. Shout
No one
out.
has this yet.
Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in those moments, you're faced with like telling people, it's an elevator pitch thing, dude. You got to have like you should have a 5-10 second answer about who you are, and usually just tell people like I'm going to help you build your brand, and that's usually, I guess, more through visual art. But if it comes up that I get down with music, for sure we'll talk about it. Same thing with any other interest. About huge sports fan, I'm a Celtics fan, like, dude, but I'm not talking to KG about the Celtics, despite that being one of my interests. I
Yeah.
hold back on that, and like, let's just keep it on the topic that we're discussing. And um, but yeah, man, I would probably like visualize. I mean, I'd probably prioritize visual art over music when I'm like explaining who I am to someone, just because I think my output there is a little more prolific. And like I said, I kind of I just get down with it more. So
Sure.
I'm more willing to kind of make that who I am. And then when people find out about the music, it's always a nice surprise to them, and they're curious.
Yeah. No, facts. No, I get that. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Um, Yo, props for you for keeping it all biz with KG. I would have freaked out for like 5 seconds, but then I would have I would have held my composure. But yeah, so I guess with doing so many different types of art, working with so many different types of creators, trying to help other people's visions, trying to build your brand, as well. Being involved with Air brand. What are the challenges that come with all of this? And like, is there this feeling of like mental and physical burnout, or you know, and how are you just able to do all this and keep pushing through these tough times when you have them?
Yeah, it's a cool question, Spoon, and I don't think that I have like a really I don't think anyone really has the answer to that. I think you and I were speaking about this the other day, man, that when you have interests, especially creative interests, you're always kind of faced with this like fork in the road of like, yo, do I drop everything and try to make these creative visions happen? Or do I, play it safe and collect a bag doing a job that is maybe, not in line with my like direct passion, but it kind of frees up the capital and free time to let me explore those on the side, and I think that like, that one or the other, that like, fork in the road path seems really it's pretty apparent, I think, at times, like I said, especially to young people that like have a kind of creative vision. So when you're juggling things and when you're like, have different outlets plus kind of corporate responsibilities plus, personal relationships that require attention and whatnot, um, that my answer for like not burning out or not making sure that any one of them suffer is just like, you know, always prioritize like always kind of prioritize things that are not, I wouldn't say have the highest stakes, um, but make sure that you're not kind of burning out on things that won't ultimately progress you. I know that like art and music for me is definitely a passion, but I also know that like it's not how I pay my mortgage, or it's not how I can provide for myself and the folks around me. So ultimately prioritize the things that can keep me in an okay state, but then the balance of that is that art and music to me provide the balance that make doing the other things better. you know like if I
Yeah.
were just grinding at my job and I was just kind of making things happen in like my personal life, I would lack a lot of probably pent up emotion and energy that I can only express and I can only relieve through painting and drawing and writing songs. So while I prioritize the stuff that like makes sure I'm secure in my day to day, you can't really do that without the balance that, self expression and creative outlets provide. So
Yeah.
it's always a push and pull. Some days I wake up and just want to say fuck it all, and I'm literally just going to play guitar today. And some days
Mhm.
like you wrap up a busy ass work week and you realize that like damn, I haven't like done anything fun or creative. I haven't tried to blow any steam off this week. And it's during those times when you need to kind of prioritize the outlets that kind of straighten you out with your mental health and energy and stuff.
Yeah. Super important message for real, man. And it's hard because when you fall into bad habits, it compounds. So, I think it's, keeping that positive outlook, having that self-awareness to recognize, um, when balance is needed. Big facts, big facts. And I guess, speaking of challenges, these past 2 years have been like so challenging, for everybody, and it's been crazy times. How have, these past 2 years shaped you as an artist, as a person? And 2 years ago, did you ever really think you were going to be in this position that you are in life right now?
Yeah, it's another cool question, Spoon. I don't know, man. I think you're talking about like COVID and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh yeah, it's hard to look back on like that time, that like frame of time, and without like immediately just thinking about like, man, the moment I started to have all this free time, or the moment I started to have all this alone time, which it was for so many people, is like where did my head go first?
Mm.
And yeah, man, a lot changed. I mean, COVID, like, I think everybody had a pretty similar experience. Like, people talk about COVID hobbies and shit. Like, people just started doing stuff that they wanted to do, whether it was something they've always wanted to do, or whether it was something they just found out about and wanted to give it a try. For sure, started taking recording more seriously. For sure, started, taking my clothing brand more seriously. When I was like, left with all this free time and kind of energy, and wasn't spending money going out and wasn't spending money on, other bullshit that you just rearrange your priorities and, and start trying new shit. So, but biggest thing for me, man, has been, the move to LA. Like
Mm.
I was living in the Bay Area after school, living in Berkeley, living in Oakland. And that's where I was at when COVID started going down. But the move to Los Angeles, man, just kind of opened everything. um, the move was just, mainly, a joint decision between me and Nora, my girlfriend, uh, to, switch scenes, try something new, move to a, more exciting place, something where we had more friends, we could afford a bigger apartment. you know, basic shit that kind of informs your move. But like a major component there was like the you kind of access to other creatives that you have here without it having to be like what I said, drop everything and try to grind it out. You know, like this is where everyone is. This is where producers live. This is where artists live. This is where, you know, fashion goes down. This is where trends start. And so the decision to move to Los Angeles, I think, when I look back on like the last 2 years, has for sure been the like you know, probably the thing that's influenced what I'm up to the most, just because of the like not only the opportunities it presented, but like the kind of mindset that it's helped form, you know, over the past few years.
Mm. Yo, I definitely feel on that sentiment that when COVID came around, it just like forced all of us to, you know, at least in my mind personally, it was kind of like sink or swim. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was really no middle ground. You know, I was like, shit is getting so bad, and I was like, I still need to, you know, keep moving on. You know, like keep trudging on, um, and trying to do the things that can better myself. Um, Likewise, like I started to work on music more, try to
Mm-hmm.
assemble the crew more with Air and tighten up there. Um, yeah, saving money. I got a new laptop and shit because I knew like that was like the key to like helping me mix better, record better.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I got a desk mic as well, so like I had to get the infrastructure in place, and you know like stack resources and stuff.
Of
And
course.
yeah, yo, and yeah, now we're back on track, and you know the summer's gonna look fantastic, and just back on the grind. So I hear you. It was a super challenging time, and it definitely exposed a lot, but it was, you know, it was a grind for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
things are well earned. You know,
Always.
you gotta grind for things for real, for
Yeah.
real. So we definitely learned a lot about you so far. You know, multiple creative outlets from, you know, correct me if I'm wrong too. I was gonna say from Portland to Portland. I know you're from Maine and you were out in Oregon, word? Or no, you were in Oakland. That's what it was.
Yeah. No, but my folks have moved to Washington State, and I've got an uncle in Portland, Oregon. So yeah,
Oh
I do the
shit.
I do the Portland thing.
There you
Uh,
go. Portland to Portland, dude.
yeah,
Dropping merch.
yeah.
Out in LA popping. What are some things about you that like surprises people? You know, when you meet all these different types of people, and like, what do you want people to know more about you?
Yeah. I don't know. I think everyone knows it, but like I'm like a total nerd with like animals and shit, like nature and animal facts and kind of natural history is like my kind of my first love. Like, dude, I studied biology in college. Like, I have a full-on biology degree.
What's the largest mammal?
I don't know, a blue whale, a beta blue
Oh
whale. Yeah,
shit.
yeah, I know that.
On the
Uh,
spot, banger.
no, I've got all that stuff, Spoon. But it's um, it's not just, you know what I mean. It's cool knowing about animals and stuff, but you know, just when it comes to the everyday perspective, man, I'm really encompassed in this kind of like mentality of understanding like why shit is here and not in other places, or like what's your place in one ecosystem and not another, learning about ecology. I'm obsessed with like paleontology and archaeology, natural history, earth history, read
Mm,
hella books on the subject, and just kind of for the like, not so that I like just can drop knowledge or just like know stuff, but I think that like when you have a kind of broader mind, like when your perspective is honed to be pretty broad, and kind of look at yourself within the frame of Earth's history and like current event, you know, current history, and you know, the creation of Earth and the creation of the universe, and where, you know, why humans are here, and you know, shit like that. I think can kind of hone an interesting perspective to help you look at like current events and social issues and everyday shit that might go down in your own head. Uh, but you
mm,
know, that's one thing that I think that like I'm not super open or overt about, just because like my kind of outer interests are a little bit more in your face, you know, like fashion and art and music and whatnot,
mhm.
my job, everything like that. But my definitely like my interests in like reading, um, are a little more scientific and go a little bit further back than the shit that I probably like dwell on daily. So that's one thing that like I don't think I want what's that's what one thing I want everyone to know about me, but I do think that that's something that if you know it about me, then you kind of it can help make sense of kind of how I navigate shit and like how my perspectives formed on certain things and not others.
Definitely, definitely. Damn, yo. Well, I think we're low key coming to the end here. One of my favorite questions that I like to ask is, kind of knowing all of this. Um, where do you want to grow? I mean, every artist always wants to, keep taking it to the next level, or
Yeah.
whatever that means in their eyes. What's next for Harry Adams?
Yeah, that's a cool question, man. Truly Blessed Beats Tape 8 is going to come out in August. That's next
Yer,
year.
let's go.
But I think, high level, man, like, I think the number one thing I'm focused on right now, even more than like output, is like quality. Definitely trying to make my shit sound better. Definitely trying to make my art better. Definitely trying to make my clothing line elevated. I'd say right now I'm prioritizing high quality shit over output. Um,
Hmm.
and I think the reason is that like you just kind of you don't want to think about regression and you don't want to think about backtracking. So uh, lately I'm on this kick trying to like just make everything sound and look fucking great so that I don't ever need to like explain why my old project is better than my new one. People always, there are a lot of artists where, oh yeah, I like their old shit more, and that's gonna happen anyway. But at least while
Hmm.
I'm starting to, take shit more seriously, I always want, progress to be on the forefront rather than like, oh man, I like that old stuff.
Sure. Yeah. No, definitely. Gotta push those creative boundaries and
Mm-hmm.
capacities
Big
for
time.
sure. For sure, dude. Yeah, that's super exciting. That's super exciting. And you said truly blessed. Hey, word. How did you come up with like the truly blessed name and shit?
That's from
How
high
did it sound?
school. That's literally from high school, man. I think the true origin is like it's so random, man. But this kid in high school had it on his cleats, uh, truly on one foot and blessed on the other. And I just thought it was so. I must have thought it was cool on the inside, but like we for sure roasted him for it. Just thinking like, how fucking stupid is this? Truly blessed, and it just became sort of this saying for like, oh man, that's truly blessed, like truly blessed, and just kind of wormed its way into my vocab to a place where like a lot of my music, at least first, I wouldn't call it like truly satirical, but like it's a persona and it's it's under this moniker. It's kind of secret, not secret, but you got to dig for it. So
Yeah, yeah.
truly blessed, I thought just kind of like spoke this like uh kind of corny rapper language that I thought that like my stuff was kind of playing into, and obviously never gave up on it. Truly blessed, I think I put the first tape out like my freshman fall, and have just been doing like one or two a year, skipping a year here and there, and now wrapping up the eighth one. Sound is for sure changed, but like, dude, when I'm on my eighth of something, like I'm not gonna switch the title just
Facts.
cause, yeah.
Yeah. It's like Fast and Furious changing everything right now.
Exactly. Yeah, you would never. You'd never. Not even.
Yeah.
Even if it had no cars in it, bro. If it was like in the franchise, you'd still call it Fast and Furious.
Yo, I know you like were into like nature and stuff mad young. How did you get into music and stuff? You've been putting stuff out since your freshman year of high school.
Uh,
Like,
yeah, I'm same deal, dude. Just been doing it forever. My dad was a musician. He
mm,
studied music before he went to med school, and his first, I guess, degree was in like classical music. He was a trombone player, actually in Boston at the New England Conservatory,
oh,
and then
dope.
went to like travel with a couple orchestras, traveled with a circus, had like a quintet for a few years before, uh, of course not giving up, but like, getting real with it and switching a career into like medicine and stuff. So, For sure grew up around instruments. My first instrument was like, I don't know. We had so many guitars and pianos in the house when I was a kid. So it was just like doodling on those all day long. And then
Mm.
played like horns in middle school, and then middle school picked up guitar as well. And then I've just kind of been honing in on like different string instruments, guitar, banjo, bass, learning a bit more keyboard. And now I'm super focused on, more like production, composition, songwriting, shit like that.
Sure. And it also sounds like your harmonies are picking up through too. Are you like working on your, because the voice is an instrument as well. Have you been
Yeah.
working on in that capacity too?
Yeah, definitely. Like layering vocals is something that I like. Yeah, I want to get better at it, man. I think everyone wants to be a bit better singer. I don't think anyone is like truly confident in their voice. Like I've never honestly met someone who's like, yeah, 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 that sounds great. Like I've never finished a vocal take and been like, no, there's no way I can do that better. Like you always want to go again, right? You
Yeah,
always want to go
yeah.
again. And even like my like actual artist friends say that shit too. Like you always want to improve your singing, and vocal layering is a really good way to kind of like um pad your voice, so that one track doesn't sound so like harsh or intense.
Facts. Yeah, bro, that's true. Just always want to keep doing better. Me and my boy Tyson Fontana Joe from Air, we were in the stew and just cooking up some shit for Paradise, and like we were going through that process of like it could be better, like here, and like we've been working on this song for like over a year, kind of, and we have like another song too that we've been working on for a while, but yeah, and then sometimes you got to step back and be like, at some point, like you just gotta like put it out, like you get like your best take,
Right.
and like of course in your mind you always think it could be better, but like
Yeah.
we're always our biggest critics.
Right.
Facts, facts, dude. Well, yo, dude, that's fucking awesome, man. So I like to kind of wrap up with the sections. We got a hater section, a love section, a shout out section, and a hot take section. You can start anywhere. It could be about anything.
Hater section, love section, shout out section, and hot take. Um,
Yeah.
Hater, dude. I'm not gonna call out any haters,
Yeah.
but I will say this. I will say this, man. Uh, my like biggest, it's so corny. Haters equals motivators, man. But my like number one inspiration is people who put out shit that I think I could do better than. When people
Yeah.
release music and I'm like, no, this is whack, but they're so confident and willing to post it and share it, and I know for a fact I could do something better. That my whole life has been my number one motivator. I've
Mm.
like had friends from camp and friends from school that would put songs out. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And like, I'm supportive, of course I'm supportive of other musicians, but I'm like, dude, I have stuff that I would never post that's cooler than this. So kind of
hmm
like a little bit of a cocky take, but and they're
Nah,
not
man, that's
haters, but
facts.
in a way it's me hating on them. So that's how I'll fill my hate section. Keep putting shit out because it makes me feel great.
Let's go, Harry versus the world. Yo, Harry,
Right.
I'm coming for your neck, dog. I'm dropping, bro. I'm
At no
dropping,
one.
bro.
um,
At no one.
Love section. Geez, man. It's Mother's Day today, bro. So obviously gonna send some love to, my
Hey,
mom, all moms, folks
shout out
stepping
Ma
into mom
Dukes.
roles. Big time,
Love you,
man.
Ma.
Yeah. I think we definitely need to share some love there. Shout out section, shout out to the team. Shout out to, everyone who's kind of, been supportive, folks that are like, showing love, folks that support the brand, listen to the music, even if they're not out
Yeah,
there saying that they like it or enjoy it or anything, folks that tap in and engage. You know who you
yeah.
are, and definitely shout out to y'all.
Big true, big true.
Hot take. Geez, I'm not one for offering crazy hot takes, but um, I've got the Celtics and I've got the Lightning. So
Okay.
NBA and NHL playoffs. We'll see how this ages, but yeah, that's all.
All right. All right. Yeah, I like it, dude. I'm up here in the B, in the land of the seas. I'm not necessarily a Celtics fan, but like if they win, yo, I wouldn't mind a parade. Like,
It's
come on.
fun, dude. I moved to Oakland. I moved to Oakland like and had back-to-back championships. I'm not, yeah, I suppose I'm a Warriors fan now, but like we had we had hella championships. Like I was living in Boston as a kid. Like every fucking summer was every spring was a parade with the Patriots. We had
Yeah.
like the Boston's 2011, Red Sox 2007, like for sure. At 2013 parades all the fucking time, man. And then I moved to Oakland. The Giants start winning. The Dubs start winning. Moved to LA 2 years ago. The Warriors got, I mean the Lakers got a championship. The Rams just got a championship. The Dodgers just got a championship. Uh,
Damn, yo,
Follow
you
me, bro. Follow me. That's
yo,
why I've got
where you out to next?
yeah. But yeah, NBA, I've got the Celtics. NHL, they've got a little work to do, but I got the Lightning.
Word. Good takes. Good takes.
Yeah.
Damn, yo. Well, this has been fucking amazing. Yo, thanks for dropping by, yo.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for giving some time and everything. Yo, you got a lot of shit going on, but dude, it's all popping, and one could definitely see how you take your time. You craft it very delicately, and like you're just you, man. Like it's real life shit. It's all inspired, and thank you for sharing your art with us, man.
Yeah, man. Spoon, thanks for having me, man. As always, it's a good convo with you, bro. I feel like we always get into some good stuff. So thanks for having me, man. Put One
Absolutely.
in the Air, episode 4, Air Records to the world. Appreciate it, dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, can't wait to have you on future shit. Yo, can't wait to drop Lulu a 4 on them. Can't
Yeah,
wait to talk merch with you. Um, yeah, dude, just up and up every day.
cool.
Let's go.
Peace,
Hell yeah,
Spoon.
man. See ya, dog. This was a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
Nice. All right, bro. I'll stop the recording and I'll export the audio on iMovie and just shoot it over to you.
Perfect. Yeah, man. I'll clean it up. I don't really need to do too much editing. I think the convo straight through was
It
perfect,
sounds good.
dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just put like some transitionary audio in there every now and then to kind of break it up, provide those bathroom breaks and shit like that. But yeah, yo, fuck yeah,
Cool.
this was tight as fuck, dude.
Easy,
Um,
man, and fun.
Yo, send over the recording too. I'm gonna talk to Cheyenne, and he's gonna put the other ones on YouTube with like a spinning air label.
Oh,
But this
cool.
one, we can make it the first ever recorded one, dog.
Yeah.
And we could put it on YouTube, and like we talk about elevating the brand and like elevating shit like that. Like,
Right.
yeah, you could put this directly like on your page as well, and we could put it on ours too. So,
Cool, man. Will do.
fuck yeah, dog,
All right, bro. Thanks for the talk, dude. I'll speak to you soon.
dude, absolutely.